I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night. Wherever you may be watching this transmission, it is I, Mike Martins, bringing you this really hard-hitting article I really want to throw out there for you guys that's being thrown around in Australia. And it's kind of throwing Americans in there too. So if you're from both countries, even Canada, I'm going to mention a bit of Canada this one. So if you've been following me for the last decade on housing, on where housing is going, woo! Sit back and enjoy the show. So here it is, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and set your reminders for our live shows with call-ins. Here we go. We got Mike in the Night, Trends in the Housing Market, and all these other great shows. If you guys want to be part of the show, go ahead and call in and be part of the show and tell us your story, whatever the topic is. Tonight is testing out theories. U.S. is borrowing more money than it could handle. Almost, I think it's like 15 to 20% of its GDP. This quarter, it's borrowing that much money. Anyways, okay, so let's move on. Here's the article at hand. Let's go to article scan, please. Here it goes. Try not to laugh. I'm going to try not to laugh to read this. Chinese buyers abandon Australian property replaced by U.S. investors. Woo! 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 So you're telling me Americans, okay, are going to leave the opportunity to buy this house in a heavily populated area of Florida with a lot of jobs for $263,000, 4-bedroom, 3 baths, 2,500 square feet, property tax like $900 a year, to buy this for $4 million bucks. I don't think so. A lot of Americans do not have 2 nickels to rub together with the average American. I think it's anywhere from $63 away right now. With the circumstances we're in, $63 away from going completely bankrupt or aka homeless. So I don't know where they're coming up with this. So let's read this. China's foreign investors have abandoned Australia's property market in droves, replaced by a surge of number of buyers from the U.S. Okay, what are we talking about Americans? Are we talking about American proper, like the born and raised in Alabama? I'm going to move to Australia and buy a $3 million house? Is that what American? Or are we talking about, I lived in Seattle for 6 months. I'm originally from China, but now I'm going to go to Australia. But I do have American citizen, or I got papers for, what kind of, like, who is this, right? U.S. investment in Australia real estate soared $19.5 billion in the 2018 to 2019 financial year, more than 3 times what it was prior, followed by a jump in Canada investment from 2.1 billion to 13.3 billion. See, Canada investment jumped 2.1 billion to 13.3 billion. Investment. It's not the Canadian proper buying homes. It's Canadians laundering a bunch of money. Canadians. It's Chinese laundering a pile of money in. So I'm going to kind of want to throw this out there so you guys get a gist of what's going on here. So right here, Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So this is the only numbers I could find is from 2011 to 2015. And $200 billion was laundered through Canadian real estate here. $200 billion. So Canada's competing also for Chinese rich investors, right? So why would an American leave the American dream and they don't know how good they have it? Right? And it's just absolutely phenomenal. Here's another one. Like 289,000. That's like 375,000 Australian dollars. Like, why would anyone do that? Okay, as North America's investment grown, investment levels from China halved in 1 year from 12.6 billion. Now, we covered that on the channel because China, almost the same country. China is restricting outflows from its country, from people parking it in real estate in all over the world, basically all over the Commonwealth, buying out the Commonwealth. 12.6 billion to 6 billion last financial year, ranking the 5th largest source country for real estate investment behind Singapore and Hong Kong. The reduction in proposed investment applications by value from China reflects on an ongoing downward trend in value of Chinese investment from its peak in 2015 to 2016, said Foreign Investment Review Board Chairman David Irvin of the annual report tabled in Parliament on Thursday. This could be attributed to the range of factors such as China's international domestic policy settings, including increased scrutiny of outbound investments and stricter capital controls. Yes, there was a mass amount of wealth leaving Chinese shores and moving to the Commonwealth because they are open for business. They don't move to Mexico because you can't go to Mexico. You can't buy land in Mexico. You can lease land in Mexico, but you'll never own anything in Mexico unless you're a Mexican. And that's how Mexico's laws are. In 100 years, Mexico will still be Mexico 100 years from now while I'm dead and gone. Australia probably won't be Australia, nor would Canada be Canada anymore. Maybe by name or historically kept by name, but something else. North America accounted for $32.8 billion worth of foreign investing in Australia real estate the financial year, while China claimed investment worth just $6 billion. Figures showed that the residential real estate sector saw the modest rise in the number of approved purchases last financial year to $14.8 billion, up 12.5 billion, but remains a fraction of the $72.4 billion worth of residential investment that was approved at the peak of the foreign buyer boom of 2016. And that was huge. That was when basically they were laundering billions of dollars through Australian casinos and just shadow flipping homes back and forth between neighbors in China so they could clean more money basically in Australian banks. The drop in residential real estate investment was not just pinned on China's international policy settings, but also local factors like introduction of foreign investment application fees, the doubling of stamp duty, Victoria and New South Wales, and tighter lending conditions from the banks. So Vancouver did that in 2017, where they introduced a foreign buyer's tax, but that backfired against Seattle and other western parts of the United States, where everybody basically went down to King County, Seattle, Washington, and just completely tripled the housing prices in a year, where Seattleites were completely bought out, and they kept blaming it on the tech workers. Then Toronto, everyone went from Vancouver to Toronto after the foreign buyer's tax went on, and maybe doubled and tripled the prices there. And there's mass exoduses from these cities. So it's been so much fun in the last 10 years if you've been alive to see this, and you actually understand what has been happening, how our country has basically sold us out to the highest bidders. So let's keep going here. Established dwellings also saw fewer approvals for purchases for temporary residents, down from 5,876 in the 2015-2016 fiscal year, just 1,312 4 years later. Of the last financial year's total $88.5 billion worth of real estate approvals, more than $19.5 billion come from the U.S. and $13.3 billion from Canada. Singapore accounted for $9.8 billion worth of investment, closely followed by Hong Kong's $9.3 billion, and lagged China's $6 billion and New Zealand's $4.7 billion. I could bet you 100 to 1 that the Australian proper living in Australia did not spend nowhere near what these investors are investing in. Executive chairman of Chinese property said he expected the downward trend in Chinese property investment to turn around this year, given a resurgence in buyer inquiries since COVID pandemic gripped the global markets. In April, Chinese buyers made twice the number of inquiries on Australian real estate as in any other months so far this year, 50% more than in any other second half in 2019, Mr. Chemmel said. There may have been a great deal of pent-up activity taking place in April, so we don't expect Chinese buyers inquiries to remain at the height for the rest of the year. Hong Kong's interest in Australian property had already started to soar before the widespread protests erupted last year. Hong Kong was the fourth largest source country of real estate investment for the past 2 years running, but the scale of investment has more than tripled from $2.8 billion to $9.3 billion. That's bigger than like Germany's GDP, I think. That's huge. So that's huge, guys. So that's what's happening here. So, like, why would anybody leave? Okay, the reason why I talk about Florida is because I lived there for 5 years. I didn't have any problems living 5 years in Florida. I had more problems living 5 years in Canada than I did living in Florida. So here it is. Oh, Mike, you're just pick and choosing. No, there's thousands of properties here. Look at this one in a really good area. Look at this mansion with solar panels and a pool in the back. $247, 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, price cut of $28,000. So I don't know why anyone will leave this to go buy this. Look at this video I did in Australia. Australian housing ripoff. Look it up. $5 million. Guys, this is not 1.5 million pesos. This is like $1 million US for this, or more, like 1.1 million US. So there, Mike, you know, who wants to live to market toward? He said that Sydney auction market continues. Watch this. The amount basically is pretty market. Was a good part here I wanted to show you guys, but it's a strong market towards the end of the year, and what's next year is going to bring, nobody knows. He said. So they're playing the supply and demand to get people all riled up. Here it is, $1.5 million. Guys, this is not 1.5 million pesos. This is like $1 million US for this, or more. That's in Australia. So imagine what kind of job you need to have to own this beautiful, gorgeous property. This beautiful, what is that, 2-bedroom, 1 bath? This beautiful gorgeousness. You know what kind of, or you stay in your own country, Americans, and buy this for a fraction of the price and just worry about making your $780 a month payment on this. I would think I would go with something like this, in my opinion. That's just, what the hell do I know, right? And then we got this one here. Look at this. Asking, look, sold $1 million over asking, 800,000 over asking. It's crazy in Australia. Like, I've been doing these videos for years. None of my videos get any views, but still, I'm trying to get the word out there. I get a lot of emails from people thanking me that they didn't buy in the last 2-3 years, because right now with COVID, they've been in a lot of trouble. Look at this one in Vancouver. $5.5 million. I just have to kind of breathe in, relax myself, because $5.5 million, we're going to go do some shopping today, folks. So let's get our trusty, there's no photos of the place. I'm trying to get more photos of it. This is all we got. $5.5 million for that in Vancouver. That's, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't know. It's just money. Again, Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So would Australia. So would pretty much the world. Watch this. Watch this, guys. I can't. I have the article here. The world would be in a great recession if London stops. If London stops laundering money. I'm just trying to see if I could find it. Oh, no. They took it down. They always take down these kind of... man, they always take down these articles. Like legitimate articles. And it's... not... It's like legitimate... here we go. Here we go. So this one you want to take a look at. World economy would collapse if the City of London stopped laundering money. They need to launder money. They need to break the law. Me, I launder money. I'd be sitting in the jail cell real quick in a heartbeat and shown the rest of the world how they don't tolerate money laundering in any country. But because it's me that's doing it, I don't launder money because, one, I don't want to be shown as the poster child of what happens to you when you launder money, right? Until one of us do it, there'll be no poster childs out there. So there it is, guys. This is what's happening. I do not believe in my heart of hearts that Americans are buying up a majority of Australia's real estate. Then if so, who are these Americans? If you're an American and you sold your $300,000 mansion in Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, in Miami, so you could move to Australia and pay $5 million for this house, I would like to know in the comments below, please. I would really like to know this. I would even pay you to tell me who you, like, not who you are, but your story, because I don't know who would do that. I have no idea. I'm just trying to think. I don't know who. Financially, it just does not make financial sense right now. So that's what's happening. Or you could get this thing for a couple $100,000. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. 247 grand, 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, almost 5,000 square foot home. I don't know more, like what more people could. I don't know. You want a good starter family home? Here you go. That's it at night. I don't know what more I could say to you guys. Like, I lived here, so I know. I've had more I was peace and quiet living in Florida. When I got to Vancouver, Canada, oof, that's when everything hit the fan. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders here for our live shows and be part of the show. And share this video, get it out there, wake up some Australians or wake up some of this. I don't understand this. So if someone could comment below and maybe give me a little bit of understanding on like these condos in a good area of Florida, I'll even show you. Like these condos, like this, like in Australia, that's like $1 million a condo. You could watch. Like I got to go back from 4 bedrooms to 1 bedroom, and then I have to go to 1 bathroom. Let's see if we could find condos down here. Yeah, there's still big giant homes. Hold on. Let's see if it's all look gigantic homes. Let me see if I could find like a condo here in South Beach or something, so you guys could see what I'm talking about. Here, right here. Collins Avenue, right here. This is right on Collins. There's the view from your balcony on Collins. There's the view from your sunset. And there's the view from the right side of your balcony. And what does this cost? 247 grand, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. This in Sydney proper, by a beach, you're looking at $1.1 million, right? Here's 247,000. I think it's overpriced. But you're still looking at about $1,700 a month in payments. So, I mean, you can find a lot of work here. There's work here. There's millions of people living here. So, if you can't find work, then I don't know what to tell you guys, honestly. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Thanks for watching.